into our opening semi-final in the bottom left-hand corner. We're going to start things off with the red Terran player representing Team Liquid. This is going to be Clem. And he takes on the blue Protoss in the top right corner of the map. We have ourselves herO, the series I was ready to cast yesterday and we didn't get. Clem couldn't make it through the semi-finals to make it to the finals. So we're going to get some PvT here today in the semi-finals of this Monday Cup. herO versus Clem. Can Clem knock herO down? Or will herO find their way in the PvT? We are going to be finding out. Exciting semi-final, as always. Always great to watch these guys. And, yeah, let's get to it. Let's see what we get as our first SCV coming across the map. Again, our second semi-final will be Lambo versus the winner of Max Pax and Mana. That's not a guarantee at all because, yeah, Mana's playing good lately. Max Pax's PvP still is shaky. So, that could be an interesting result. And that could be an interesting semi-final in the end. Definitely a bit of a different semi-final. I don't think Lambo's ever been top 4 in the Monday Cup before, so excited to have him here with us as well. SCV moving around. Engineering Bay is starting up. The barracks are on the way through. And, yeah, just playing that Engineering Bay block, but it is a fast scout, so herO sees it. He pulls the probes. And that's not going to cause much more disruption than lost mining time at the end of the day. So that's going to be the main goal there. To just have our orbital command coming up. This SCV obviously retreating back home as well. And a Marine popping out the barracks first. So not going to go into a Reaper. Just going to play with the Marine to start us off. And this herO probe trying to come across the map for some of that info as well. Going to walk in, see the Marine. Ideally, you just see the command center here and you get that confirmation, which he does. So you know there's an expansion down. You know the Terran's not being too tricksy. And that's actually really good information to play with in these early stages. The command center then on the way on the natural factory still coming up and online. We just have ourselves the reactor building through. Again, a little bit of everything on the way right now as the Adept will take a chance to come running in toward the front. A couple of Marines coming up, the factory building in. A lot of setting up right now as we take a few moments to build into play. And yeah, that Twilight Council coming online as well. Just getting a lot of little bits and pieces up and running. At this point of time, just going to have ourselves the Adept. Going to get turned around by the bunker. Again, the Twilight Council still coming through. The Wolf Gate's still coming online. We had the Hellion, we had the Marines, we got that all up and running as well. So Adept's going to shade. I'm just going to try and get around toward the left side. Actually goes up the ramp and sees just a couple of Marines on the ramp. Again, it's just going to information gather for the foreseeable future as herO chooses the blink. Again, here in this matchup, kind of expect him to play. I mean, honestly, he could probably play a little bit of anything. I think that's the beauty right now of herO in this kind of game, in this matchup, that he actually has got the ability to kind of play as he wishes. I actually think he can play Robe. I think he can kind of play Storm. So I think he's got options here right now as we get settled down. Blink going through that Wolf Gate coming up. The Hellion going to go in after the probe. And the Adept coming back. The Stalker's coming across. Moving around for a little bit of time here so far as we just have the Stalker and the Sentry. Going to finish warping in as well. Get that completed. And the Hallucination will begin to make a move out down to the bottom left-hand side of the map as well. Hallucination will be there. And in fact, take some damage. Let's just see the Hallucination pulling back. And 2 more barracks on the way from Clem. So you want to see how this Medivac still across the map would ideally find a way in to these mineral lines and to blow up a few of those probes. So again, ideally we find that opportunity. As again, the blink is about to be done. The Raven is on the way up. And those Marines are going to be able to grab the Hallucination as well. Next is still coming by. Just going to get that finished in the next moment or so. And the Medivac will take a few shots. Wooden Mines get burrowed. Aiming for the Stalkers, but they peel away. We're going to get 1 shot, 2 shots to take down 2 probes in the end. And now a couple more probes coming about. Battery in production as well. Raven still coming through. The couple workers is nice, but obviously it's kind of like the, it's kind of like the draw in this early stage. If you lose the mine and 2 medevac, or 2 mines and a medevac, and you get 2 probes, both players kind of look at each other and give themselves a little nod, like, okay, you know, I respect your defense, I respect your drop. No one's crying afterwards. Everyone's just fine to get to the next stage of the game. As there's going to be herO blinking into the main base, nice and aggressive, as herO always will be. Looking for that stim pack cancel, which he will find. So stim cancelled. Obviously, you can cancel combat shield here and restart stim super quickly if you want to, as Clem. So we'll see if that's what he wants to do. He's not instantly rebuilding a tech lab, so it is going to be a while until stim is back online. Looks as though he's going to keep the combat shield coming up. And obviously, the longer you go without stim, the more exposed you're typically going to end up being, because you're not going to have yourself the upgrade that's kind of really meant to help you against these stalkers, because it gives you the ability to kind of chase them down a little more and so on. This Raven drops 1 order turret. Do we have another one? We did. It's not getting used. The Raven going to try and hide in the back of the battery, doing its thing. There's the new stim pack starting. And again, just going to have to make sure we don't lose that a second time, because that would be a major slowdown in this opening game of the semis. It'll be a major slowdown. Products facility is about to be done. We get 5 additional gateways coming online as well. So just bringing all of that straight through right now. As the game +1 in the charge comes up. A little bit of buy will be there. The stalkers get turned around. Stim pack and +1 still building. Wooden mines will burrow up as well. Big unload of bio units stepping toward the top, as we do have the push in. No stim yet though from Clem, so I mean this fight has just not got any hope at all. And he does get away without taking many losses, but the medevac is going to be bruised up, and that means it's going to be tough to really bring them back into the fight anytime soon as well, so there's not really much we can do in that regard. This Raven going to go down, drops an order turret. That looks like a bit of an F2 Raven, unfortunately, and that's not going to be ideal, not what you're looking for there as Clem. Losing out on another unit, which, yeah, ideally we would have much rather have kept alive. Clem just forget he didn't have stim. It feels like you're right, like that felt like he was like poking, he's like, I've got stim any second, but I mean, I could understand if you're like feigning that you have stim, because obviously herO doesn't know he doesn't have stim. herO killed a tech lab, right? So unless herO does the math and puts together, oh, you've got combat shields, that must have been stim, like, because it could have just been combat shield. Then maybe you were feigning the idea that you have stim, but you actually, hero's just like, cool, then let's fight anyway. I mean, in that moment, you're like, oh god, not what I really want. Not what I'm really looking to achieve. The Dark Shrine is building on the side of herO. The Nexus coming up, Colossus and the Thermal Lance going through as well. Wooden Mine connection. It's not going to do too much. There's a few units stimmed down this ramp, chasing the Stalkers away. Zealot Sentry Immortal still gathering together, as a couple of those Vikings are going to get nipped at as well. IO getting into good position here and knocking down a bunch of these Zealots. The Zealots going down, Stalker Sentry going down, and Clem going to get a very comfortable defense right here against an army that is meant to be about kind of the size of army, and about to be about these couple of Immortals being very hefty. I don't know why we're still fighting as herO. Like, he did not need to stop and fight, because he could have been long away. Like, obviously, eventually, yes, you're stuck in the fight, but I actually think he had enough distance on him to just be leaving. And at the very least, the more steps you take toward home before engaging, the closer you are to some reinforcements. That felt like a very tough time for herO, who loses out in a big way, and is going to be choosing to go into those Colossus as the next step of this tech. Not ideal what herO is looking for. I wonder if he was thinking, you know, Guardian Shield up, maybe he had a Force Field available too, and that could have maybe perhaps swayed the battle a little bit. Stalker's already used Blink, and so we lose multiple to the Wooden Mine shot and 1 or 2 shots from units that were hitting toward them. So the Stalker count going down quickly. Bio still gathering, medevacs joined up. The few Zealots going to make their way toward this natural expansion and trying to get in over there. SCV's still dropping, the Armory and the Engineering Bay very much so coming up. Ghosts coming through, medevac and Marines coming online. This Vikings still just overhead, as we have the Shadow Stride coming up, going to allow us the DT Blink to move around as well. Extended Thermal Lance finishes, the +2 attack coming up. We are going to be seeing this Bioforce going straight across the other side, already hitting a few of these Stalkers. Again, +2 Shadow Stride coming by. Love the opportunity that gives us for harassment later in this game. Here we're just going to say, cool, 5th base for me. Clem is building a 4th, he's going to have that moving into position shortly. So herO is not like out expanding Clem at a rate at which Clem can't really stay in this or kind of stay competitive or anything, so that's a big deal. Nexus on the far right-hand side. We'll just join up together. Yes, the 2-2 upgrades coming into place. Again, the +3 attack. Colossus and Gateways coming about. The barracks on the way through. We had on the SCVs. Starport producing as well. Get as much of that up as possible as the bio pulls back down to the bottom. Take a scan. So the Stalkers go the other way. 2-2 upgrades still producing through on the engineering base right now. hero's on +2 attack and on his way to +3, but no armor upgrades, so it's just the attack upgrades looking to empower those Colossus laser beams. And now 6 DTs to open in, so this is where hero's going to try and make this game messy and chaotic by attacking all over the map if possible with those Dark Templar. That will be his goal in these early stages. The DTs make their way around the bottom right side, and they're going to try and get themselves to that 6 o'clock position here sooner rather than later, try and get in, and try and really make something happen as a couple of Widow Mines burrow themselves atop this ramp, and that's going to be a perfect position to catch Dark Templar as they arrive. If the detection is there, but obviously there's no detection, so DT is likely just to run on by. I mean, it would be a great position against Zealot run by, but against DTs, yeah, we are going to need the detection, and the DTs blink straight in. We are going to be able to mass repair this, but Clem does not even pull the SCVs. Oh, just slow response from Clem. He's playing a little laggy today, you know. As, we do kill one DT. We're going to let the Widow Mines get the Archons. We actually chase for more DTs. Second scan already. Oh, we're going to morph the Archons. Oh, no, he morphs the Archons. Clem presumes the recall's going down, but it doesn't. Meanwhile, Clem's just busy because he's getting jumped on over here and he doesn't have enough ground forces, has to pull everything back. So herO capitalizes on the situation, a game that Clem was looking comfortable in supply-wise. And the next thing you know, Clem's without a 4th base because of DTs. Too many units pulled across to play the chasing game. And herO just capitalizes, running up a ramp, and it's not even close. herO stomps through for a Game 1 victory. A consistent performance on PvP so far today. And if he goes all the way, he might have one more PvP performance. If he gets through Lambo, it may be herO in that final, because he now leads 1-0 in this semi. As Clem just fell apart a little bit. Those units of herO storming up through the center. Bam. And yeah, Clem's army too split apart, too heavily out of position, and punished for it. Well, Clem just going to show us the aggression. Racks 1, Racks 2. It's a map which Playlines gets proxy racks marauded on so freaking much. Because they're going to drop both of the barracks to the top side of the map initially. Just going to put those straight into place as the gate and the assimilator coming through. The probe is on the way by. And both those barracks are going to come up right up to the 12 o'clock here. So, going to put those straight in place. hero's playing no scout, so he is as blind as he could be against this. That obviously makes it very difficult to defend, because you have no idea that it's on the way. You've got no clue that this is happening, which is obviously not ideal. When Marauder starts up, a probe checking out down in towards the center, and we'll see our second Marauder starting in a few moments. herO is now scouting. The problem is he's scouting for proxies, not scouting across the map as quickly as he could. So his information on this barracks being, or on this command center being late, on there being no barracks on the Terran base, is truly going to come as late as it possibly can, while still scouting. And that lateness, like I say, is going to really doom you a lot in this game. There's one Stalker out, second Stalker building, nothing else right now. We actually are scouting with this Stalker over to this left. Doesn't get there. This probe is about to run up, and oh no. It's a full wall off, and immediately we drop a battery. Now, let me tell you guys, a battery that's just started building against 3 Marauders is not going to have a good time. This has to be a probe pull. I think we have to protect the batteries, but maybe we just lose the pylon anyway. And we're just going to lose the batteries. I mean, I guess pick and choose your fights. Builds new batteries in the main base, which probably makes a lot of sense because we got to probably defend the main base here soon. Can we get away with this if Clem just gets to kill the natural? I mean, I don't think Clem wants to stick around for the natural. I think he wants value. Force field goes down. We're going to step forward. Oh, great second force field, but he will get rid of one Stalker already. That does feel like a big deal now. The probes are being affected by the force fields. Marauders will get caught in the corner. He tries to turn around onto that other Stalker. Probes going for all the Marauders. Now the battery's going to finish. We cancelled one. MaxPack's talking about confidence here because he's knocked down enough herO talking about confidence because he's knocked down enough Marauders. He feels like he doesn't need the extra structure there. I don't know if that was a battery or if it was a pylon that he cancelled. He still has 2 batteries in the main. And we'll just go back onto fighting this low ground. I mean, he kills 6 probes. It's a lot of lost mining time. He obviously has a lot of Marauders coming through. Love the sentry. Again, force the, get a Guardian Shield, force the target fire on the sentry, which the Marauders are not as good about. Now, factory coming up at home. We're going to build... No, we're going to float a barracks there. So Clem's just saying, okay, if I can kill off this expansion, he's not going to keep spamming Marauders. He's going to look toward a follow-up. It's going to be 1 base versus 1 base for a little while. And we'll go from there as we've left 1 barracks on the other side initially. That's now going to float forward. And Clem will go for the command center and begin prepping himself into something of a macro game here. 2 more gates coming out on the side of herO. As this barracks is going to provide the high ground vision that allows you to chip through this pylon. And that's obviously 1 more pylon you lose this herO. That's a supply block. Because now herO's new pylon is going to just leave him in the supply block more than anything else. Marauders just trying to trade, and enough Marauders we can actually kill Stalkers through batteries right now. Sentries we do not, but yeah, Stalkers we do, so we've got to be careful. This is better because now it's not all the Marauders can hit the same Stalker, but it does mean we lose all the Marauders. So they will go down. We get 1 away only. That's scary because we've just built those extra gateways, right? So we're going to be up to... Well, we're only going to add 1 gateway, so we're going to be a 2 gateway Protoss player against a Terran who's already building a Cyclone. I think we're going to be alright. Obviously, Clem will have the speed on the expansion in the end. In the end, I don't think I love that from Clem. Obviously, he killed a Stalker, he killed a Pylon, but then he could have killed the Pylon and stepped away. And had all those Marauders still alive for a later point in this game where actually it'd probably be pretty influential against someone who's going to continue building a lot of Stalkers. So having like 4 Marauders back at home right now would feel amazing in comparison to having no Marauders back at home or 1 Marauder back at home. Yeah, it could have been a big difference. Banshee on the way. Cyclone is going to be followed by a siege tank on the factory. Cyclone taking a moment to turn away, actually, and not wanting to get too involved up over on the other side. A few Adepts will try and shade. The Stalker's pulling back. And Cyclone is right there. Going to take a couple of hallucination shots at the hallucination. Tank will pull back. Obviously, this is a non-tech army, so no blink. We do finish off that Marauder quickly, but the tank pretty much makes it impossible to stick around here because you have no way to close the distance on that tank. If you had blink, you'd be able to blink over and maybe you just kill the tank and win this game. But this is obviously, a no Twilight Council game. At least earlier it was a no Twilight game. Now we're going to play Cloaked Banshees, and that's an issue if we don't get detection on the way, because without detection, the Banshees will kill everything. He needs to get back on his gas mining because he's, okay, he started a second Banshee. Love this sentry. Oh, love that Cyclone lock into the sentry. Lost the vision. Kills a Stalker as herO's just sat AFK and not responding to the fact his units on the natural are taking damage. herO's just going to GG out. He sees the Banshee, and I think he just says that he doesn't have a way to deal with Cloak, or he just knows that he's in trouble. Either way, he says GG. And we go to game 3 as Clem's Marauder Proxy does end up doing. As we go in game 1-1, tied up here between Clem and herO. It's a Protoss and a Zerg in the other semifinals with MaxPax and Lambo. Let's see what our day is going to round off like. As we have in the bottom right side, it is going to be Clem getting the worst spawn in terms of the mineral patch layout in that top side base is going to be herO. So a little bit of the RNG works against him there, just to start us off into game number 3. Let's see if we can rectify that, as this is a very interesting map just on its own accord. And rotationally, I like this spawn from Clem because I feel like from here you can push through over past the main base onto the natural, right? So you're going to be able to threaten the main while getting toward the natural, and I think that makes it very tricky. herO probably wants to expand here as a 3rd base, but that means if you're playing this defense here just in case, this space gets left very open. So we'll see what, I mean, obviously you can't be too upset about it. This was always a possibility as you set up on this map at first, so I mean, I guess we'll see how it all ends up as we get going. Perhaps playing some different maps the last few days has made these guys be like, hey, let's play some of the crazier maps in the current map pool, huh? Again, guys, we will change the WardiTV Monday map pool. There is a little bit of a rule as to how many maps we can change with one of our sponsors, OSC. They are part of a bigger circuit, and their circuit has certain rules to kind of keep the tournament somewhat standardized. But we should be able to change 3 maps, and by changing 3 maps, we can add a few maps in that we like from the TLMC and mix up this map pool a little bit while we wait for a new official ladder map pool to come around eventually. Orbital Command will finish, the factory will build, and the Cybernetic support coming on from herO. As, yeah, Nexus is already coming up, the probe returning with some minerals, and we get ourselves... I say the one base opening, but this will be an expansion from Clem. It's just factory before we expand, so just the more aggressive opening, the tech heavier opening here from Clem initially is what we head into just for now. Reaper still stepping across to the left-hand side. Nexus coming through. We are going to drop the battery down. The Reaper hits the probes. Probe's taking a bunch of damage, and it will fall. The Stalker stepping over. Reaper still taking some shots. As it pulls away, is actually going to go down. Mistake from Clem is that Reaper will fall. I wouldn't mind coming through. Factory coming up. Starport going through for the moment. And Twilight Council is about to finish. The Stalker will come through. The Warp Gate coming about. The Gateway is still building. Let's just have my command center finishing in a moment or two. Just getting that CC completed. Oh, he is affirming the fact the command center is finishing, so just some confirmation for us there. As the hallucination comes across, and it's just going to be trying to get through. So I see the medevac is going to pop up and start trying to get across the map, but hallucination tracking it makes it difficult to end up somewhere interesting with this medevac without just kind of being seen. And then if units just preemptively placed, then what does this medevac ever really gain? Not much. Even worse is if these Stalkers just find it and Clem. He's actually going to say, well, what if I go past those units? Warp in available from herO? Not just yet. In a moment, he'll have 2 new gates to work with. He's going to have to recall. He recalls to the natural. Medevac obviously low. He can use the Widowminder's zone, and this is going to work for Clem. herO being out on the map is going to give Clem the position in the end. Going to have to give up this probe to the Widowmine. In the end, the sentry goes down to the Widowmine. Oh, and the probe's exposed. As finally, at least with the Widowmine used, we can move in with everything else. Obviously, you didn't want to give up a Stalker, which is why you hold back at first. No blink to kind of set it off freely. And Clem gets the 6 Marines or 5 Marines out with the medevac. And now reinforcing this position. I mean, there's a gateway and a cybercore up for grabs. There's also just kind of a straight up push here. You know, if you want to head toward the natural. That's what I meant about the position or the spawns. As Clem, you start out in a position where you're immediately set right now to kind of come across and end up kind of poking into your opponent's position. And we're about to kill a cybercore in a game where herO is played blink. Like, if you can't warp in Stalkers right now, what are we warping in? And never mind warping in, what we're warping in with down 1 gateway. Well, 1 gateway or less of units. Solved that one, didn't we? Not ideal for herO, as the early game from Clem is going fantastically at the moment. SCVs across the map, going to pull in against the Stalkers. The counterattack is interesting. The Viking has landed, though. And I think with high ground and a little bit of micro here, Clem should be alright. New siege tank available, too. Clem's still pushing at the front. Now there's a Twilight Council under fire. Robo facility starts producing an immortal, but that is a mile away. I don't know if I love that siege tank. I think it's engageable from the high ground, so maybe it's not ideal position to kind of actually have there. Not that I think herO is currently too bothered about that. Robo depowered with the pylon loss. Stalkers from the other side are going to show up into the 2 siege tanks. That's not ideal either, as maybe we get a pylon up to repower that Robo. Can we kill the Robo before anything else happens? The gateway is depowered too. I mean, disaster after disaster. I feel like I'm reading from a list. What went wrong for herO this game? This. Oh, those got solved. Oh, no, now this. We are going to get the Robo facility to finish up an Immortal, it seems. Just, and truly just. We need to now stop targeting the Robo and go onto the Immortal instead. 1 tank in the back is still dealing with those Stalkers that were around. Probes pull in as we look to get the 2nd siege tank here as well. The Marines and the Viking putting in work. This tank even takes the chance to siege, which I think is the right call. and herO is not going to hang on in here. Last Fantasy will not go in his favor, and we will see ourselves a Game 3 decided in favor of Clem. The quick aggression working out. All started with herO being out on the map with 2 Stalkers and a Sentry, feeling like he knew everything because of the hallucination, and Clem is saying, oh, what if I just run at your base? And that's another way in which the spawn kind of favored Clem, because I think running to the main base there was more easily done by the fact that he had, you know, the top right versus top left spawn. Again, the rotational advantage of the 3-player map definitely a factor, and that's why Last Fantasy does not see a lot of play, but there's 3 vetoes per player in these series. Like, you know, you can't blame the map when you have so many options to remove it. And that's the game you play. It's a little bit of a dicey roll when you let this Last Fantasy come to the map pool. Let's just have the Nexus is about to go down. I mean, we are just... I mean, herO's trying to micro his way to survival. I mean, can Clem possibly tilt out of this situation? I don't think so. As Clem does take 2-1 advantage, 2-1 win, and he moves into the grand finals of today's WardiTV Monday Cup. He's been very absent.